Hello and welcome to Corner Office. I'm Dan Guindon alongside Mayor Arthur Vigeant. Mayor, how are you?
Fantastic.
Good. Now, we're inside again, so that means that the weather's gotten not as great as it was, but we just got rid of October at the time of this taping, but we had the Horribles Parade on Main Street, which had a little more to it this year.
Yeah, they did a great job. We have a new person doing our coordination, so Leanne did a great job in orchestrating something a little bit different with a different twist. We had a scarecrow contest.
Yeah.
We had some kids that were going in. They all got their picture taken if they went in where the scarecrows were, and so it was something a little bit different. It was lousy weather, but we still had a lot of kids that showed up, and the band did cancel on us.
Yeah.
So we were a little nervous if everyone showed up again, how are we going to end this? Because it usually ends with the band.
Yeah.
You know, the band comes down the street and you grab what's left of your candy and you run because the kids will come right back.
Right.
So this year we were a little nervous, but we had plenty of candy and we took care of all the kids that were out there, and scarecrow contest went well. We had quite a few entries, and
Good.
Looking forward to expanding on that for next year.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, hopefully next year, if it doesn't rain, then you'll have even more people next year. You were in Worcester for a press conference held by the governor's office, and Marlborough got a little cash out of it.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad. We got a call and asking if I could go up and speak at an announcement the governor was going to make, so we figured that was good news, and we started doing some inquiries and couldn't find out exactly how much or anything or what the rest of the event was going to be like. But they awarded 3 of the MassWorks grants, 2 of them for 2 projects that were going on in Worcester, and 1 for the city of Marlborough. So the governor, lieutenant governor were there, Secretary Ash was in charge of the program, and we got over $3 million for an additional MassWorks grant. I mean, we did Cimarano Drive with it back in 2015. This past year, we're working on East Main Street. We'll be doing that in the spring. We have the majority of the infrastructure done, so we'll be finishing that project in the spring. And this one is for down on Route 20 around the Apex Center, where we'll be looping around with a sidewalk out on Route 20 and converting the Glen Street neighborhood and Glen Street into a complete street. So we'll have bike access and walking access to get down there and kind of loop around the whole thing. So.
Yeah, and that's actually been seen a lot on subcommittee meetings that we've been showing on the station. Something else that's been coming up in City Council and the subcommittees is the water meter issue. Can you update the residents on what's going on with that?
Yeah, it's been a little confusing because there's always been some issues with water bills. People would call down the DPW and the commissioner would kind of take them almost one at a time as they came up. Back a few years ago, when Mayor Stevens proposed the bond for our treatment plants, she had projected out, giving everyone a warning, fair warning as to how much the bills would be going up. And we scurried around the building trying to find that proposal because I remembered one thing, other people remembered something else. We finally found the proposal, but she had predicted once we implemented the bonds and started paying for them for the Easterly plant and the Westerly plant, our bills were going to increase between 250 and 350%. Actually, I think it was 375, but it was a lot. And so we went back and took a look, and we're actually up almost 50% in the last 5 years. So it's up substantially, but nothing to where we have projected way back when. We've kept some other costs down. We've done some refinancing with the bonds and got some interest-free bonds from the state. So that portion, a big chunk of the bill increase is because of the bond payments that we had now because we were required to do the 2 treatment plants. The other thing that we've changed most recently in the last couple of years, we have gotten on a routine over the last 5, 6, 7 years, probably even more than that, where we're changing out all the water meters. And you'll hear Councilor Ossing talk about, we've been funding this forever.
Yeah.
When's it over?
Yeah.
Well, rather than drag it out anymore, Commissioner Galoni decided to step up to the plate and finish them. So all our commercial meters are done, all our residential meters are done. There's still a handful hanging around. We haven't been able to get inside to change them out. But virtually the entire city is done at this point. Because some of the old meters were so old, they weren't really registering water correctly. So that was an issue that was taken up by the council last week. I think the commissioner and his team did a good job in explaining it. The questions that came from the council, I think, aired a lot of things out. People are having a little bit of a sticker shock, but the reason is, first of all, we're getting a water meter that actually reads the water like it's supposed to. When we were only doing 50 or 100 meters a year, you'd have 1 or 2 complaints. We've done thousands in the last couple of years, getting them completely done, and that's why we're having more complaints now. But once you get the explanations on a one-on-one basis, it usually clears it up. But they have gone up substantially in the last couple of years.
And I can understand how some residents initially, they're like, hey, what's going on?
Absolutely.
But it isn't anything criminal.
No, and you know, the meters are in place now, so those shouldn't be a factor moving forward. The rates have been increased to where they're actually paying for the bond payments, and the water sewer, we call it an enterprise fund. It's not truly one, but we call it an enterprise fund. It's completely paying for the water sewer service now, which it hadn't been in the past. So we shouldn't see increases like this moving into the future at all.
Good. Now, one other thing I wanted to bring up again, at the time of this taping, we're just a few days away from our election. And you have early voting available here in Marlborough, as well as throughout the Commonwealth. Can you talk about why that's a good thing to take advantage of?
No.
Or maybe you don't, because I see Lisa Thomas running around.
No, they were all pulling their hair out down in the clerk's office. It was something interesting that, you know, I don't think she ever expected the people to show up as they have. As of the taping today, we're a week before the election. She's already at 23% of our registered voters have voted. Which, so obviously a presidential year, we have a lot anyway. But to see 23% is just astonishing. It's almost 2.5 times what we had in the primary already. So, and the opportunity was there before to do absentee ballots, but a lot of people just weren't aware of it or didn't take advantage of it. So they could have done something similar before. Maybe changing the rules to make that easier would have been better than the early voting. There's a lot of time being put in by the clerk's office. They're doing a great job. They have some Saturday morning voting going on. So it's working real well. Lisa's done a great job in keeping it orchestrated. But yeah, we've had, we're going to have probably 28% people voting before Election Day, next Tuesday.
Wow, that is a lot.
And I'll give you a prediction too. You ready?
Yeah, let's go.
Next Tuesday, it's all over. We're not going to hear the ads anymore. We're not going to talk about the candidates anymore. It's all over.
You mean I don't have to hear about New Hampshire politicians anymore?
New Hampshire or Maine or Washington or Russia or emails or anything. It's over.
Wow. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I really am. Last thing I just want to mention, there's a new municipal aggregation agreement. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, the committee did decide to move forward with a short-term agreement, a 6-month agreement, where we're saving a couple of cents, you know, not a lot of money. This one was a lot tighter between the end-grid rates and what we were able to get. There's still opportunities for people out there. There are some plans that might be a little bit cheaper. I just kind of warn people to make sure you read the fine print. This is automatically, you get out in 6 months, unless we renegotiate something else, guaranteed to be lower. And you can get out at any time, but to get out now you'd be paying a little bit more. But it's over the next 6 months, and the committee's actually going to sit down and see if they can work a better deal for a little bit longer term before the spring. So they're back together talking about it, and like I said, we saved the ratepayers in the city a few cents. It's not going to come out to a ton of money, but I think cumulatively it's a substantial savings for the city, city residents.
Excellent. Well, Mayor, thank you for your time. I know you're busy.
No, this is a great day.
I appreciate
I
it.
got to go out and spend that MassWorks money now and get those sidewalks.
Get that moving.
Yeah.
Well, for Mayor Arthur Vigeant, I'm Dan Guindon. Thank you for watching Corner Office. We'll see you next time.